Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents The Titan's Gift, Season 2, Episode 14. I'm your demon host, Marty, joined by the Seattle crew, who are all in safe social distance.
Isolation.
Isolation. The new normal.
Quarantine.
You can't call it a quarantine unless it comes from the quarantine region of France. But this is just isolation.
Oh, well, hold on. Let me go drink my champagne that I got from California.
Nice, dude. Nice.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Apparently on the news, I've got it. I guess I should turn it off behind me so we're not...
Oh my god, Marty, I just realized. I haven't talked to you about it. How are you coping with hockey being canceled?
It's understandable, but oh my god, it's the middle of hockey season. It was just starting to get good. I have
people in bars to fight with each other.
There's this daily like 2-hour talk show for hockey. So my routine is you come home from work, you put that on in the background while you're making dinner or doing whatever, you listen to hockey and you fast forward through parts of it, and you kind of just always have this hockey stuff. So I felt like, oh, okay, I guess I'll catch up on like late shows, and all the late shows are all like shortened because they're like at home, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess I'll watch the news. All right, okay, 20 minutes of that's depressing. So I've been picking through, like I watch a lot of movies and TV anyways, so I'm picking through Deep Space Nine right now. I'm on like season 6. I started a couple of series, but I found them, I had to pay 100% attention to them. There's some where I could have in the background while I'm doing stuff. There are some where it's like, no, you really need to pay. It's like very dense. Altered Carbon, really cool show. It's dense, so you need to pay 100% attention. Like, Game of Thrones is not something I'd be like, oh, I'll just program or read a book while watching. No, 100% attention at what's going on. Westworld sort of like that, and then Altered Carbon I found was like that. Expanse as well. Like, there are a few shows where they just require 100% of your attention, or they're just that good. So,
I've not been watching a lot of TV. Wish I had, but my wife's got me watching this Facebook series. I can't even think what the name is, and every once in a while we watch an episode or two, but apart from that, it's just been working for me.
I've got the skeleton of a scripting bot, or a scripted bot, where we can come up with the adventure outline for a D&D adventure. And now that I've got the skeleton of that going, we'll make some pretty good pace. I'm guessing a week from now it will be ready for a playtest. Where I'll just generate an adventure, and the stream and I can go and play that. So that should be fun. That's in addition to all the other stuff that's going on, just kind of filler for the extra time that we have. So that's what I'm doing. What about you guys?
I've been working. Brought home a monitor, keyboard from work, so I can work from home a little bit more easily. I also discovered Stellaris, which is a really good game. So that's been sucking up time, and then we're cooking at home.
I've played about 400 hours of Stellaris.
Nice.
It's because once I latch onto a game, it's like Civ 4. I haven't played it in a while. NHL, Stellaris, and Pathfinder Kingmaker. Between those 4 games, no, over 1,000 hours, maybe.
I don't know what
Probably
you guys
several
are
thousand.
talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't spend any time on games.
No, you would never. I know you, Neil.
No.
I know you don't do that.
Stellaris is an amazing game.
At Seattle, it's kind of comforting to know that the Seattle freeze is now global policy.
Right? Bunch of introverts.
Oh, it's brilliant.
just
it's not, but it's brilliant.
Everyone needs to act like an introvert.
I've had a few days to work on that, so... No.
It's funny. I read somewhere today, that there's a Big Brother going on in Germany, I think.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't tell the people in the house about the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
And they only broke the news to them, I think, today or yesterday. Which is funny because they're in Big Brother. They're confined to their house.
They should have just not told
them.
them.
Not to kick them out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta keep them all.
Yeah, don't get kicked out. Just stay in there. You're safe.
Yeah.
Just lock them in there, and like all the studio crew, like everyone actually keeps the thing going, just leaves.
Yeah.
Get those people up there. The arc that's going to recopy.
Oh no.
So weird.
Society restarted by Big Brother.
Be afraid.
And it's a reality TV cloistered. Yeah. That doesn't sound good.
That makes repopulating the world a very interesting discussion indeed.
I think you need at least like 30 to 50 people to avoid certain problems.
These people.
If they're from Alabama, 5 to 10.
Hey now.
Hey, we love you, Alabama fans.
I decided to mute myself and not say.
Roll Tide.
What would be the place in Russia that would be that joke would be made about? Like, is it Siberia or where is the
Alabama
the brunt end of Russia?
I've never heard any incest-related jokes about any region of Russia.
It is.
Is that what you're saying?
What?
Is it? So it's where you're from then?
Yes, maybe. No, I think the closest thing would be there's a region where there's like some native tribes left because they weren't like completely genocided out when Siberia was like occupied.
Yeah.
So it'd be like those regions, just because they're like the tribes are very small.
Yeah.
But I think of all the jokes made about those people, it's more about like their naivete than like them fucking their sisters.
Yeah. Country folk. They use backwards.
It's more redneck and more and less Alabama, if you will.
Got it.
All right.
The more you know. Luke, what's going on with you, man?
I started playing Civ 6. My buddy sent it to me over Steam, so that's been pretty cool. Started listening to Dune. It's not quite a graphic audio, but there's like a bunch of narrators and ambient music. I've read and listened to Dune like twice before and haven't gotten through all the like OG Frank Herbert ones, so I want to try and get through all of them. I hear it's pretty good. All the books written by the original guy here are pretty solid.
They are. The one that gets the most like negative feedback, quote unquote, is Dune Messiah.
Okay.
But it's also really short, and it's a lot better if you, before reading it, you read what Brian Herbert wrote about it, like just and come into a certain frame of mind. It becomes a lot. You just gain a lot more insight when you're reading it than you would otherwise. And then it picks up with like Children of Dune pretty much immediately, or I guess it would be Children of Dune. But are you reading the one that's by Macmillan Audio with like Scott Brick?
It's got a seriously groovy cover with like a ton of UFO aliens over.
Yes, it does.
It's pretty groovy.
Yeah.
Look at all those aliens. It's
cool
though. I love Dune. Dune's such a good book. I mean, I'm excited to get into that. And cook a lot of food. That's going on over here too. Finally made chicken stock out of 4 frozen Cornish game hen carcasses from dinner. So
say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, that's tough. So it's been good. Surviving, you know.
Once you're done with that, you know with reading Dune, you know what the next step is, right? You have to get a DOS emulator, install the games too, and then work through them.
Oh shit.
Dune 2 is legit.
Dune 2 is very good.
Dune 2 is the RTS. It's basically the mechanics of CNC Because
Yes,
Made by
okay.
West was before CNC.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
remember this game was on Sega, I think.
I
One of
doubt
them
it.
was
I
on
don't think we're
Sega.
talking about the same game.
Maybe.
Really?
It's like I think it's like a Command and Conquer builder, right? Real-time
Well,
strategy.
it is
building
like a
person.
Command and Conquer, but I don't.
Yeah,
Doom 2000 may have been.
maybe that's it. Maybe.
You guys ready to do a recap?
Yeah, I mean, or we could just bullshit. We've all been inside.
I know. we could probably chat for another half hour.
Yeah, somebody on our chat is going like, "I'll spend a Euro point just so they can start freaking playing."
Just for somebody to roll something.
Right. Okay. Last game was called Tari Night. This was about a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. While dealing with the aftermath of the fight with the murderous Kored, a fell creature boards the Cactus Express in the car where the Outsider Ward was tampered with. The party makes a brave stand against the Titan spawn Demodand. You learn that this thing is one of a legion of Demodans that are out there in the void. Makes sense that the Grand Station would ward their trains that traverse between the realms with outsider wards. Unfortunately, this car is now vulnerable for the remainder of the trip. You guys boarded the train at like 6 in the morning, kind of around sunup. It took a few hours to get to the ethereal barrier, and then you guys had maybe about another hour there. So we're at, we'll say, about noon on the same day that you fought the Demodand, as well as the same day you fought the Kored.
Hey, Marty.
Mm-hmm.
I think your mic's a little odd. It sounds, it's maxing out, and we're getting a little static, just like a continuous ping
Give me a second.
on it. That sounds better. Or totally off.
I will replug it in. How about now?
That seems to be better.
Yep. For some reason, XSplit went with dark. Let's see if we can get everything back.
Trying to see if I can copy a token out of map tools and save it somewhere.
It did not like me unplugging my audio. Because unplugging audio makes the whole of map tool or XSplit go dark. There we go. Okay. All right. Fix. So let's zoom in to where you guys are at. You guys have had that fight. The tar-blooded Titan spawn is sort of leaking all across the ground. He's beheaded, as Zephyrus is the one that decapitated him. You found a couple of swords. We're going to call one of them, once you have a chance to identify it, the Brink of Destruction, and the other one is called Hope Stealer. They're two medium-sized short swords that this thing was wielding. It also has, well, I don't know if you want to wear it. He does have a suit of masterwork breastplate. We'll call it ornate. While you're picking up the swords, Oogway looks down at the belt. And remember where I described like 6 tadpoles kind of hanging from his belt that were living, that looked like these one-eyed spherical creatures with tails. Their tails tied to his belt. You can see that a bunch of them are kind of burning up and hopping around as the ward perhaps on this train is causing them to die.
Do I recognize them?
Give me a knowledge planes. You can
seen these guys. I wouldn't remember summoning them, but
you know what you can summon or what the things are. like in your spell book, there are the words to summon these creatures, so you know what they are. I'll give you a +4 to your roll.
We're out of combat, so can we aid? We're out of combat, so can we assist on the roll?
Yeah, you guys can talk about it.
Because I'm standing right next to him, I can give him an auto aid.
Would be 27, then plus an auto aid would be 29.
Are you talking out loud about this, or are you keeping this internal?
I'm probably more muttering it out loud to myself, and you guys just happen to hear it is probably what more is going down, and I would think you'd chime in, and I'm a bit surprised, but just roll with it.
Yeah, Zephyrus is standing next to you, so he's kind of used to you muttering and just being all professor-y.
You kind of lift your big ear and you're listening to the professor mutter and you aid. So yeah, I think you auto-aid this, so 25, 29.
I'll help if I hear. It's up to you, Marty, if I do.
Yeah. If you guys are like standing around watching these things kind of burn up because of the holy aura that is on the floor.
So it was 13 plus the circumstance bonus because I know about them. So it was 23 plus the 4 is 27, then plus an auto aid is 29, plus another auto aid is 31, and the third one from Pharisee is 33.
I don't know if San auto aids.
No, he does.
He does.
If
cool.
You can hear, then
yeah. Okay. You guys, you're the council of scholars of outsider things realize that the little creatures that are on his belt are not Titan spawn, like not of the same race of demons or outsiders. These little things are called cacodemons. They're a type of daemon, which is different than demon. Daemons are halfway between the iron-fisted law of hell and the chaotic madness of the abyss. These particular daemons are weak. Normally they'd turn invisible. They might be somehow inhibited from doing so because they're kind of like fused to a belt, or like there's like a hard clamp. These are kind of like the imps. Imps are to devils as cacodemons are to daemon kind. They're the tiny outsiders. 30. They are filthy. Their bites transmit diseases. The really interesting and perhaps evil power that they have is that a cacodemon can ingest the spirits of any sentient creature that died within the last minute near it. It then poops out a soul gem in which the soul of the person who died is trapped. With your 30, you know that soul gems are the currency of the lower planes. Someone's soul being inside a gem would make it very difficult to make them come back to life, or to reincarnate them, or even denying them their rightful afterlife with their deity. You are now watching 5 cacodemons burn up at this thing's belt.
Does
Can we take the belt outside onto the back part of the train?
Yeah. So Pharisee kind of undoes the belt, and these things are kind of burning up. When you lift them off the floor where they're resting, they kind of stop burning up. But they're pretty injured. Like, you could probably just kill them. You notice that 5 of the hooks still have a caco daemon in them. One of them's missing, though. There were 6.
Where do you think it is? You said it could be invisible?
It basically left its tail. Like it might have pulled itself so hard off of the belt that it left its tail behind.
Interesting.
Do the tar-blooded Titan spawn, the Demament, do they have souls?
That is a much different philosophical question. You're basically asking, do outsiders have souls? Give me a knowledge planes check. You can ask for aid if you're talking about it amongst your friends. If you're not, you could just roll it by yourself.
Yeah, I'll ask.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll help with that.
Zephyrus is not going to help because he's busy. He's distracted looking at his spell book.
Okay.
Professor?
I'm just sort of holding up the Demodand belt.
Yeah, one of them went somewhere, or
Luke, are you muted?
It may have gone to tell others
Oh, yeah,
that the
sorry.
train is insecure.
Wait, yes, Gene.
Okay.
Shall we put that outside for the moment? I'll say as I summon an unseen servant, and it will attempt to take the belt and walk to the door with it. If Pharisee...
I'll go with him. It's probably safe in the other car. You said something about souls and outsiders, Son.
yeah. So Son, an outsider that goes to the realm of his god, like someone dies, their soul goes to their god, and there are several ways in which souls live on. They either stay in the realm of their god and live there technically forever as a petitioner, which is a low level outsider. Some of those petitioners are raised up to be servants of the gods, and they can become outsiders. Both angels and demons and devils can be created this way. Now, not all of them are all the same, but it is a way that things progress after death. That being said, a demon or a angel or an outsider like the one you fought, his body is his soul.
And the body didn't immediately disintegrate.
No, it's kind of gross and bubbling and sort of like leaking all over the place.
So I communicate that to, that lore about outsiders to the rest of the party. And what I propose is, well, two things. A, the sixth cacodemon, it sounds to me like it's plausible that the essence of this Demodan, or Demodan, is now in that. And so if it creates a soul gem out of the Titan spawn, we probably want it. And I reckon it's going to be valuable if nothing else. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, thereby transmit diseases. We just came from a disease. So if a similar type of, ward protection was broken somewhere in Bastera or in other pearls potentially as well, then that could be that could be a potential source for the blood veil.
Do they have the same disease? Interesting.
I mean, well, that's what I'm getting at. Is let's check. Like, let's hold on to some of their teeth or whatever they bite with, I guess. Like
a capital experiment. Ah, yes.
Okay.
Specimens. That
Go
is
ahead
what
and kill
we
one.
need.
But
What do we have?
aren't they already dying?
The unseen servant picked up the belt. Apparently, the proximity of them to the floor was causing them to like you threw a tadpole onto a hot pan. Like they were burning up and flipping around and freaking out. They have their tails pinched by these really cruel looking clamps that are on the belt. Like they're kind of in pain to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with the unseen servant? Lifts up the belt, and we'll say that 1d5 of them survived. 2 of them seem to be still moving. and there's a little bit of color is slowly returning to them, and by watching them, you guys now know that these little cacodemon fuckers have fast healing. A very small fast healing. The three of them are just no longer moving. They're just sort of hanging there dead at the end of their clamps, and you can see that the tail is a little bit burnt on the 6th clamp, and the 6th cacodemon that you guys swear was there is nowhere to be seen.
Zephyrus has been going through his spellbook, and he nudges the professor, and he says to the professor, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I have locate object prepared. If we can visualize, or if I can visualize this one that is missing, we may be able to pinpoint the direction that it went in.
Ooh.
If it works.
Can you show me?
Yeah, so Zephyrus shares the locate object spell with Professor. It says you sense the direction of a well-known or clearly visualized object. You can search for generic items, in which case you'll locate the nearest of its kind. That's not really what we're going to try and do here. Attempting to find a certain item. And that's where I'm not sure if this is going to work, because this is not an item. Requires specific and accurate mental image. Sorry?
I think there is a spell locate person.
Yeah.
It's not really a person either.
Yeah.
Locate creature?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of just an object on his belt, but I guess it does become a creature.
No, they're definitely living. Like, they're living outsiders. Only 2 of them have survived the time spent on the ground of this train.
Did any of the belt that was attached to, is any of it still attached to the creature? We'll say, as we're pondering if this.
No, it looks like the cruel clamps that hold the thing are still down. It's like the creature pulled off its own tail, or maybe completely burned up. You do know that they can turn invisible.
I'm gonna try and track it.
Okay.
Because it would have been on the ground, and I presume it's slimy or something.
Yep.
And we know that the ground is damaging it.
Okay, so San's like, stop moving around, and you're looking around for where it was, and
Zephyrus on his elephant feet, sort of just going onto his toes, looking all awkward and funny.
I think
San makes the mental image to comment on later.
I think Oogway, who's kind of amazed at your learnedness, is going to try to aid in the survival. Oh, he's actually pretty bad at this, but he's going to try to help. And he does.
Okay.
While all this is going on, Fairsay and the professor, I think, still have see invisibility going from before the fight.
Yep.
So I think we're noticing people look around, and the professor is going to look around as well, getting wind of it.
Right. So I have Owl's Wisdom on, so that's where I get the additional +2, and it's 21 normally.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
you actually see a little slimy trail, like it bled for a little bit after it pulled its tail off. It fell to the ground and then wiggled its way this way. And it seemed as it was wiggling. Now, not very much. It grew from the size of a really big tadpole, several inches across, to maybe about the size of a cantaloupe.
I follow.
Okay. It slithered all the way across the joint in the train to the other train car.
Okay. I say that a bit like, hey, the tadpole's moving. It's active. It's clearly alive, and it's growing. It sounds like it probably did eat the soul, or at least part of it.
This thing knows that the train is insecure.
I mean, yeah, it came from there, right?
Let's take the belt. Maybe we can stash it in one of those barrels.
The belt?
Yes.
Oh, why not? I mean, we can probably just put it in the bag, right? Like, as long as it doesn't touch the floor, it's not gonna kill the remaining tadpoles.
I don't know if they can survive inside of Makano. But you're
not
right.
necessarily Mockernom. We have other bags.
Oh, I don't think those are for keeping. I don't want them inside me. Ew.
Fair enough. They're a bit diseased, but yes, let's go into the other car and deal with them there.
I can definitely eat them, however.
Yes, well, if it comes to that, Morganon, lead on, Master Son.
One of the, you guys do know with all of your roles recently about outsiders that just outsiders do need to breathe.
Okay. Well, I mean, our bags wouldn't be like airtight.
Normal bag would be fine. No. Yeah.
So someone needs to guide Brack. Oogway, would you like to do that? And tell her we can break his bones.
I will look after my quarry.
Says Oogway.
Yep.
Okay.
He goes over and closes this door and seems to be securing it, and then we need keys.
To what?
I'm sure the guards will be along at some point. We could get them from them.
Yes.
I'll say as I pick up this candle is used and burnt out, right? It used the charge because the spell went through and then it just died, right?
Yep.
I will pick it up and study the old used up wax lump.
Okay. You understand why it
Yeah.
it didn't go.
The candle guy, it used the effect, it just failed because as soon as the creatures came into existence here, they were getting hit by the shield that surrounds the car and just like instantly kills them, right?
Or just stop them from appearing.
Yeah. I'm going to follow San.
Okay.
Because I can still see invisibility.
All right, you guys go to the next train car.
I'm curious as well. I'll follow with the unseen servant in tow. I think carrying the belt. Did Fairsay ever let go of the belt, or was she?
Yeah, I let go of the belt. The unseen servant's fair.
The mental image I have is, you know, like that scene in Wizard of Oz when they're like prancing on the Yellow Brick Road and they're like holding hands. I'm kind of visualizing the same, but it's like the unseen servant and the fairies and they're holding the belt with tadpoles.
So
and they're like ringing their like bells.
The tadpoles seem to be in much less pain when you bring them over, the two surviving ones that are in there, and all of their burnt flesh is kind of like flaked off, and they look nice and glistening and new. They're gross, but they're glistening and new.
I'm just one of these into wood.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Professor.
Yes, of course. Shall
That
I?
might be safer for us to carry it around then.
It may raise
You
some
never know
questions.
when you might need to turn something into a soul gem.
Yes. To the belt ones, or are you motioning to one of the ones on the belt, right?
To one of the ones on the belt. Yeah, just think about it. We'll take care of it in a minute.
Yes, I'll say. And I'll make sure the wand's stashed away in my inside the professor pocket.
Okay.
And also stash the other wand I use quite often in there.
You notice, Son, that the professor plays with his belly button lots. Like he's always got his hand inside of his like robes, and he's touching his own belly. Just something you've noticed more than a few times for your comfort. You managed to. It grew. It seemed to. How do these things move around? At about this point, it seems to have just floated up. Like it stopped moving. It's not there. Farisay is like looking at the spot, and she claims she can see invisible things. But then you see a little like splotch of slime, not quite as bloody as before, kind of on this barrel. And now you're searching around for signs where it may have landed. You're pretty sure that this thing flies.
Does Zephyrus fit through the door?
Yep, you can squeeze through as half speed.
But it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's in here. Block the door.
Okay, Zephyrus comes in very gingerly and closes the door.
Okay.
Someone makes a mental note to ask if like fans have ballet.
Is the door on the far end open or closed?
The door on the far end's closed.
All right.
No, wait. The dog went running and came back. The door is open.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am going to fly down.
Okay, and quickly close the door.
And close the door and hold this in.
Okay, San, with your survival check, give me another survival check. Now the conditions have changed a little bit.
Okay.
You're now trying to track.
Tracking or survival?
It is tracking. Tracking.
Well, it's tracking application of the survival skill. Okay. 31 again.
Nice. You actually see where it landed. Like it kind of landed here, and then it landed here, and then you see a trail of it going underneath the floor panels.
Is it the kind of panels that that there's like or it feels like a space under them, or is it more like floorboards that like they're just naturally resting, but if you step, you can like squish something?
They are thick tiles that rest upon a grid of metal, and there is a slight space between the floor and the actual structure of the train car.
Okay.
So you're now kind of like, ew, it kind of squished under. It's like crawling around in the floor somewhere.
Okay, can you get a sense of how big it is?
Like
an apple?
Like a softball.
Mm-hmm. Big apple. Okay.
You definitely see a trail of slime as it sat there for a moment and slipped underneath the floorboard. You're guessing it's somewhere in this area.
Right. Yeah, I convey that to everyone. I say like, hey, I can track it, but I can't, squeeze under the floorboards. Does anyone have any spells that would make that easier?
Oh, do we have a reduced person around here, Zephyros? I'll say as I'm scratching my head.
Pixel can take a peek.
Would be dangerous.
Oh yeah, Pixel probably should have come with me.
Okay.
I can cast a reduce person.
Perhaps you could cast it on Son so he can fit under the floor and capture this thing.
Do you want to be a smaller man, Son?
But would that make me small enough to get under the tile?
So you're guessing that even if your head was the size of a halfling head, you would be like tunnel rat squeezing on the flat of your belly to try to get through this space. This would require very difficult escape artist checks to move.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I don't have anywhere near them.
Perhaps we can figure out where it is and stab through the floor.
Can I go and poke my head down there and see if I can see it with my see invisibility? I'll throw some dancing lights down in there if I need to. There you go.
Okay.
Do we know how long it takes for it to poop out the soul gem?
It is a pretty quick process.
And the soul gem will be visible.
The soul gem will be an object.
So Zephyros says, perhaps we shouldn't worry too much about the creature and focus more on the soul gem.
Give me a perception check, Professor. You can add 2 because of the light. And this thing has a stealth of...
Is Son pointing it out to me where he thinks it's gone and all of that?
I mean, I can just point where, like, the tracks ended. I don't think I can track it without, like, seeing the tracks.
Yeah, that's true. Marty, you said +2 because of the lights?
Yep.
It's just the entry point I can point out, like, hey, remove this tile to, to see through.
8.
Okay, you don't see anything. There's a lot of cobwebs and mice poop in there.
Oh, damn the luck! Where's that damnable magician Icky Maester when you need him? I'll say.
What about Mokranum? Can Mokranum fit in there if I make it smaller?
I can go down there, yeah.
Can't Icky Maester just go crawl around and grab things?
Can do do that, yes, I suppose. I think I can cast a spell or something.
It's gonna be.
What did you do again?
It's gonna be the Kako Daemon versus Pixel and the Crawling Claw.
That's where I'm going with this.
It's like the fantasy version of cockfights.
You could like charge tickets and bet.
Oh, it's gonna be a tight squeeze for me.
What if I make you smaller, Mockingham? Can I make you smaller?
I don't know. Can you make me smaller?
I can make you smaller, but the question is, how much smaller will you be? Will you fit in there?
Oh,
Wait, didn't you say, Zephyros, that you can locate items?
I can locate an item.
Can't you locate a soul gem?
Problem is, you cannot specify a unique item unless you have observed that particular item firsthand.
Fair enough.
Maybe we could try a little something like this.
But you can
that will work.
search for all items, in which case you can locate the nearest of its kind if more than one is within range.
I mean, yeah, if you look for any soul gem, there can't be too many on this train.
I think that's probably true.
Just everyone's got Soul Gem playing. Oh shit!
I'll cast Detect Secret Doors and look around for panels to access the floor other than what these guys have pried up.
Okay, so you're now looking around, concentrating. I'm assuming in this back half.
In the area where we've all agreed it's gone in that direction.
Yeah, it went this way. It kind of crawled underneath and went that way.
Yeah, I'll start there and then work my way out from there.
Okay. Yeah, there is a panel.
Zephyrus asks Professor, do you think it's worth a trying to locate the soul gem?
No,
It's just going to give us a direction. It's not going to tell us exactly where it is.
You detect a secret door that is coming from kind of where Zephyros is, or a little bit beyond. While you're concentrating, I think you learn the nature of it. There's a door underneath the ledge of the train that kind of allows you to look at the floor from that direction. Now, you're pretty close to the wheels at that point. It's like if the train wasn't moving, you could stand underneath this this platform and probably look at the connection. If you were flying and were really careful, maybe you could go have a look, but there is definitely a door, and it does have a... You know how to open it. There's a special, like Allen key that you use.
The hex key?
Yeah, hex key to undo it.
Which we
Security
can
by security, baby.
there is a secret door under the train. Seems to be some sort of maintenance hatch, but a bit inaccessible while the train's moving without flight.
Well, is it normally locked?
It's hard to tell from this angle.
I'm just saying,
Probably it has a
the
lock on it.
point is this thing can't open locks.
Yes, that's a good point. Good point. I hope it's
So maybe don't need to open it. Hey, listen, can we, how about this? We lift a hatch, or we lift the tile, we take Pixel, we shove Pixel down there, and we just tell her to look. I mean, because she can fit in there fine, and, you know, move around and stuff.
She's quite sneaky too.
She is. Let me take a look. There's a gap. Can we see it all down the gap?
Yep.
Can I see maybe 20 feet down the gap?
Sure.
Excellent. I say
Not in all directions, as there's little places where the floor is attached and stuff, but...
of course. I say, oh, to hell with it. And bend down, peek down in there with Pixel shedding some light,
Okay.
and cast about 20 feet out black tentacles.
Thank you. Oh, Thursday, thank you.
Oh, the sound, this
Red.
the sound of like these eel-like tentacles just bulging underneath the plates of the floor are very disturbing.
Just sit there comfortably.
So 20 feet down. Demon Lord Nem, how's it going? Thanks for the cheers, bud. Alright, 20 feet in. There's a carpet of... So I'm guessing that there's probably a 3/4 chance that if I roll a 1 out of 4, it has just luckily escaped by hiding in one of those corners. Nope. You can hear something moving or struggling. Like a little noise going on back there. You don't know exactly where, because now this horrible writhing eel carpet is all you could see. In fact, some of the tiles might actually be bulging a little bit because of the spell. It does not have SR, but
just wait until the screaming stops.
But it does have DR. So let's see if you can actually do something. Its CMD is 12.
Okay, and Black Tentacles has a CMB of your caster level is the base, so 7 plus 4 plus 1. So it's got a CMB of 12.
Okay, so basically don't roll 1s. This lasts for how many rounds?
1 round per level, so 7 rounds.
7 rounds? Okay. Round 1. Alright, so do damage.
It does D6 plus 4 damage. Each round that it succeeds a grapple check, it deals an additional D6 plus 4. Yeah. Ooh,
nice.
That's a good one.
Okay, its DR is 5, and you're not getting through its DR, so it's basically
Right.
D6 minus 1. So you've done 5 damage.
All right.
And then that round it heals 2, and then it tries to escape.
Stupid healing.
What's the CMD of...
10 plus its CMB, so 22.
22, it needs to roll a nat 20 to escape. It doesn't. Next round, it automatically takes damage. D6 minus 1. Two damage. Then it's its turn. It heals 2.
All right.
So
My turn.
Yeah, your turn. I know it's still grapple. No, sorry, it's attempt to escape. It doesn't escape. Then it takes damage again. This is round 3. 5
right.
damage.
Yep. Okay.
It then
While this is all going on,
it then heals 2. Yeah.
I think Son is like looking for the sound of screaming, and I think he tried to like pry open a panel and just pull the thing out of it.
Okay, so you're listening to kind of like where it's screaming. Give me a perception check. This is on round 4. Son's trying to find it.
Yep.
Through a wall, it's making noise. The DC's probably like 19.
29.
29. Okay, you found where it is. It is underneath this panel.
Okay. Oh, so it's like under a box?
Under a big crate.
Uh-huh.
It's a crate of anvils, sorry. Okay, let's roll a d10. 1, it's really light. 10, it's really heavy. 10, it's a crate. So Bostera is known for mining. So they have like inside this crate. There is the crate is only there to kind of keep a mining cart from rolling around, and inside the mining cart there look like there's iron ingots. The crate has a little bit of a door on it, but it's not facing it. It's not like facing a convenient location.
Okay. Just pry open the tile next to it. Like south.
Like here? Okay.
Well, we don't know that it's that heavy. Zephyrus first has to embarrass himself trying to pick up the crate.
You kind of shove the crate, and the crate has like, it's like a poor construction. It's like really slender. It's just mostly there to keep maybe some elements or off the cart, or the cart kind of rolls underneath the crate. Anyways, there's something very heavy inside the crate. You could see the rough outline of the mining cart inside. And then, Son, how are you digging under? Are you using a tool? Are you using your bare fists? Are you smashing it? Are you just trying to get your fingers in and lift?
Well, we pried open the previous one.
The Corrid pried them open, and they do have some tools that they left behind, including a sledgehammer and a pry bar and some thieves' tools they've got kind of haphazardly around there. You can go and fetch those if you want.
Yeah, I get. Well, I have a grappling hook. I guess I'll try that first.
Okay. You try to jam the grappling hook in between two of the joints of the tiles, and round 4 is going by while you do that. Matt, how much damage did you do? Did you do 3 damage?
I did 3 on round 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know how much you've done?
Then it heals 2.
Marty knows.
And then it attempts to escape and it doesn't. Okay, and then Son is now jamming a grappling hook prong in between 2 tiles. Give me a strength check. You can add 2 for the tool. This round, you actually kind of like you hit in the wrong spot, and your grappling hook kind of goes skittering across one of the tiles, and you just pull it back really quickly, a little bit embarrassed. Anyone else helping?
Yeah, Zephyrus is going to step up and try and help.
Okay.
Zephyrus' strength modifier is +7, and Zephyrus also has a grappling hook.
Okay, so Zephyrus sees your idea and is going to try to use his grappling hook to hammer through. You can add 2 for using a tool.
So +9. Natural 1.
All right, this tile is impregnable. No, it's just really a corner of that tile has a box on it, and that must be really heavy too, like another box of anvils, and and the tile's in there pretty tight. Round 5, Matt.
No.
2 damage. It then heals 2.
1 damage.
Oh, 1 damage, and then it heals 2. I'll give it 1 hit point back.
Wait, what the? Oh, gosh.
And then it tries to escape. It doesn't. And then you guys could either aid each other with this roll, or you're doing 2 separate, like going at it from either end.
Well, I would just be going for it.
Okay.
So, like if Zephyrus wants to help, he can, or he can
I'll aid. I'll see if I can aid him. I need to roll a 10 or better.
Yep.
I don't get the bonus for the tool, so it's just
sure you do.
20 plus 10. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
+2. You get a +4 to your roll as you're trying to pry this thing up.
Okay.
Hey, you pry up the tile. Now, do you have a token for just a tentacle mass?
Do I?
That's a good point, Professor. Surely. I do not. I should get a nice tentacle mass token. I mean...
Let me check. Oh, I do.
I think previously we've just like drawn them with a spray paint type deal.
think it'd be better to have a nice tentacle mask.
They're not black, but there is.
Oh yeah, that's good.
There are a bunch of tentacles that are now kind of like spewing out of this hole and kind of going in all directions. It's not attacking you directly, but you can now see one of the tentacles underneath where the mining cart is wrapped around something vaguely spherical. But whatever it is, it's like not there. It's like wrapped around a space that is about this big.
I cast auditory hallucination.
Okay, Professor, as soon as that comes up, what does the auditory hallucination do?
I'm going to get into its mind and make it believe that it's hearing any sound the Professor imagines. It can include intelligible speech. There's a will save to disbelieve it.
Okay.
I don't have to precisely imagine the sound. I can just say...
What are you making it imagine?
It's master, like someone it really fears in this hierarchy of daemons. Someone that would really make it snap into command, and I will say, stop struggling and obey your new masters. In its head, as what I say.
You guys can hear the thing. The thing is going like... as the tentacles are all flipping around and slowly squeezing it to death, but you're telling it to stand still and obey its master, so it's receiving a command. Let's see if this thing has the morale just to take the beating. I'm gonna give it a will save. Okay, you notice it's complaining, but it stops thrashing around as much.
Yes. You can hear my command.
Okay, round 6 met. Your tentacles continue to squeeze. This time for 4 damage. It's making lots of noise. It heals 2. It's still screeching. It tries to escape so that I can serve its masters. It doesn't. And it just stays where it is.
What are you waiting for? Stab it.
Oh, I believe I've made contact. I think it can hear me and is now obeying us as its new masters. I will say, squeak for me, my pet. Tell me you hear my command. Yes, splendid! Hear it now! I don't suppose we need to squeeze it anymore, but we can.
Yeah, let's maybe not kill it, because we don't know if it actually produced the gem yet.
Okay, Professor, you feel this little ripple in your head.
Oh god. Yeah.
Please,
okay.
Please stop squeezing. Please stop squeezing. You'll get your gem, master. You get your gem. I was going to make contact. I swear I was going to make contact.
You presume to give me commands? Telling me to stop squeezing? Squeeze it a little harder, Pharisee, then maybe let it go.
No, I am good little lozenge. Good lozenge.
Yes,
And you learned the name of the little fucker. His name is Lozenge.
No damage on round 7.
Okay.
And the tentacles go away.
Yes. Great, master. Thank you, master.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Yes. I'll say, I believe its name is Lozenge. Peculiar name.
Why? You will get your gem. Where are you, master? Where are you? I do not command you, but please show yourself and smite these people so I can recycle their souls too.
In time, you do not understand the way of this plan. You are but a pet. Now silence.
So this conversation's happening like mentally.
Yeah,
right?
There's a bit of a telepathic communication between the professor and Lozenge, although you can hear like...
Right.
Gurgles and burbles, and you get the sense that when the tentacles all disappeared, that it may have retreated further into the floor.
I'll command it to come out. Come, show yourself. Gaze upon these creatures.
This is through your auditory hallucination. You're making it think that it hears its master.
Yes.
But I'm safe in here.
They will not harm you. How dare you question my plan a second time?
Okay, you could feel it saying yes, yes, and Pharisee, I think your see invisibility is working. You can see this horrible tadpole orb-like creature with a single eye sort of like lurch underneath and is sort of pivoting and looking around at everyone.
I don't know if Matt has.
It's there. I see it.
Okay.
Master, where are you?
It's making telepathic communication to you, but it doesn't know that you're not its master.
In time, all will be revealed. For now, follow them. I need you to keep an eye on their activities. Do what they require. They are my tools as well.
Does someone see like the slime that follows the invisible trail?
Yeah, so to see an invisible creature is DC, I believe it's 20 on top of what it's doing, so this thing has, it's small, I think it's DC 25 to see it.
Okay.
Perception?
Or tracking?
Perception. Okay, you know what square it's in.
Okay.
You catch like the brief outline of it a little bit, but it's moving around a little bit, and then you see a little bit of slime. You kind of know vaguely what area it's in.
Do I have like a pocket square, a handkerchief I have?
You have a handkerchief? Sure.
Do I, as an old man?
Yes.
In my pockets? I'll take it out and I'll go, just a moment, and I'll put the handkerchief over it so that, because I can see Staun's looking for it.
Do you know where it is?
No, I can see it. I've seen this.
You see invisibility? Okay, so the professor steps forward and just puts a handkerchief over it.
Master, they are trying to clothe me, Master.
Obey their commands. They are my tools. All will be revealed.
I'm not sure.
I pull out an iron pot that normally is used for cooking.
Yeah.
And I like remove the handle and just offer it to the professor.
I'll shrug like, what do you want me to do?
I point in there like, you know, these motions.
It's kind of squishy and surprisingly like tough. It's sort of like you picture like a brain would be, or maybe like some big creature's balls. it's like, you know,
the two are not the same.
No. And you stick it in the pot, and you can hear it kind of burbling inside the pot now.
So I close the pot.
Okay. Okay, so you've captured lozenge.
All right.
All right, dude.
Yeah. I have 50 feet of rope.
He's a tough little fucker. You saw his wounds from that strangulation like slowly going away. By the time you've done this, he's got no damage.
He did speak of having a soul gem for us shortly, though. Capital hypothesis, that was.
I have no idea what that means, so I ignore it. I guess... Alright, so now that thing's been captured, can we go and inspect like the square where the ward was.
Yep.
Being configured from, I guess.
At this point, you can hear the train doors opening, and you can see Uguay hopping across, kind of like he wants to be the first through the doorway, as there are a group of guards and officials.
I cast glamour on myself.
You can hear Uguay's voice. Yes, they're right in here, the thieves. And he's obviously trying to distract them just long enough to let you to cover for you.
Yeah. I guess as soon as Son hears this, try to hide between like the boxes. It's like this.
Matt, you're muted. What's Pharisee doing?
Son's trying to stealth between boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go invisible.
Give me a.
Zephyros can also go invisible.
Yeah, I will spell recall, use my last arcane point, and get back, vanish, and go invisible. And then creep my way to try and find a place to hide or something.
Zephyros also goes invisible and he climbs on top of that box. Maybe he also needs to fly. If he has enough time.
Yeah, I'll go to start making my way back behind this box, where I'll silently conjure a silent image of a box and hide in it.
Mocranom is on me. Is Mocranom also? Mocranom's not also invisible.
Nope, he's gonna just appear as a small barrel beside a big barrel.
Yeah, he can also be invisible, so... Okay.
Alright, so those that are invisible give me stealth checks at +20. Son, what is your stealth check?
12. And the beam in there gives me anything.
You got a total of 12?
No, it's +12.
Okay.
Stealth check 24.
24? Okay, I'm just gonna mark that on your token.
So this is a +20 stealth check?
Yeah, I believe invisibility gives you +20.
42. Pixel is also going to hide and turn off her aura.
Okay.
33.
Stealth 33. Alright. Uguay steps in.
49.
He pauses for a moment as he's expecting some of you. There they were. They were tampering with the train there. And he steps off to the side as a couple of TERC guards come forward with their crossbows out, and they're pointing them around. Let's see if these two TERC guards spot the non-invisible folk. Hey! 24. You there! Step out!
I guess someone does. So.
The fuck is this? Uguay, they helped fight the demon thing. Oh yeah, there are some of them back here. They're not the ones that dug this up, though. It was those beard barbers. They nervously look at Son. How many weapons are visible on Son?
Well, the bow, the sword.
It's fine.
The other thing is Son's favorite enemy is human, because he hates them with a passion. So he's like not nearly as friendly as he normally would be.
Yep.
Or like druids.
It appears we've got some stowaways. You can see the conductor say as he comes in with this big grin on his face. You can tell that he, however, is really nervous.
I am going to slowly make my way over to Sound and slip a ticket into his belt.
Okay. Are you doing this so that Son notices, or...?
I want Sound to notice, yeah.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand. You're also trying to do it so that the TERC guard don't notice.
Correct. Got a big old +2 on that. Let's see how this goes. Eight.
Okay, Son, you notice the ticket appear, but you notice one of the guards looking at it. He looks really confused for a moment.
I guess immediately in reaction to that, you know, I bypass the guards completely, kind of shoulder them out the way. I don't you know, attack them, but it's clear like, hey, I'm more important here. I go to the conductor, I pull out a ticket, I hand it to him. It's like, I'm not a stowaway.
You see, he's not a stowaway. Rover comes in and kind of like half tackles Son, is looking at Son's face.
I lick Rover.
Okay.
Even though I thought it was Rufus.
Yeah, he was called Rover by the senior engineer Jopus, but you do see clearly now that he's got a name tag that says Rufus.
I'm gonna call him Christopher. Christopher.
Okay. Nobody seems to notice that the dog is being called by a different name, and if you say it in a certain way, dogs don't care what name you call them. The conductor looks at the ticket. Where did you get this ticket?
At
the ticket booth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pixel stole it from the ticket booth in the
place
that we came from.
He looks it over and then he just sort of like he's handled thousands of these things before. He seems to do this thing where he wraps the ticket up against his knuckles, kind of making a little bit of a sound, like the sound you expect like a baseball card in a spokes of a bike to make, kind of like. He did look at it. Like there was a question that kind of crossed his face a little bit, but he tucks it away. I see.
They didn't onboard any ticketed passengers. I suppose that might be a.
You're one of the lucky ones. You're lucky that you have a sword saint vouching for you, as he kind of says over his shoulder.
You're lucky he's with you.
Yeah.
And I smile.
Yeah, they told me about them corrids that, yes, and Uguay does have an official bounty from the office of the field marshal. You notice the deputy marshal, he looks like the guy that should be talking, but you do notice him kind of like taking a step outside with a handkerchief, and it looks like he's coughing into the handkerchief.
Oh no, he's got the blood eyes.
Okay, so first song turns to Jopus. It's like, how are the wards? Are they going to get repaired?
Yeah, so the conductor here, we talked to the engineer at the front, and chief engineer says they don't have a spare.
And how long are we going to be in ether?
A little less than 3 days. 26, 72, likely 80. He pulls out a little pocket watch. About 85 hours.
How's that? Less than 3 days? Okay.
26-hour clock.
Oh, fair enough. So, who has the? Someone did take one of the swords because he got that vision from holding the sword. So I guess he shows just the handle. It's like an outsider breached the train.
Sorry, he said 74 hours. That's better math.
Okay. So Son shows the grip of the blade, and he's like, an outsider breached the train in only a couple hours since the war's been broken. It's probably going to happen again. You might want to post guard here.
Ah, yes, yes. It would be a shame to have to, let loose this car.
Yep, we'd let loose the caboose as well.
You notice Jopus seems to be a lot less jovial, as it looks like he's stopped drinking and it might be affecting him, or he might be entering hangover phase. Yes. Well, it appears the two of you are more than capable of handling any of the outsiders, should they tend to stop by. It has been a long time since we've had to deal with one. The conductor kind of looks nervous, like that might be out of his league. This will definitely go into my logbook. I didn't get your... I didn't...
Probably would, yes.
I didn't get your name, good sir.
Who's he talking to?
Son.
Oh, it's Christopher.
You notice that he does pull out a little book and writes it down. Do you have your papers?
I just gave him my ticket. That's all he's gonna get.
Ah. Give me a diplomacy check.
Okay. Is there a diplomacy bonus?
Yes.
Against,
there's +2 because Oogway is vouching for you, +2 because you showed that you were helping the train. It's not a very...
I'm the dude that took the cool-ass sword off the dead thing.
Yep.
I was right there when it died.
Well, and it's also, again, his favorite enemy. This is more intimidate, I think. If intimidate works here. I guess he doesn't have guards.
You could intimidate the... Like, are you saying ticket and don't ask for anything else or I'm going to hurt you? Or are you trying to just basically get out of having to show...
I'm trying to think here.
Are you being threatening to the conductor or not?
I don't think I am.
Okay,
I don't think I'm
then it's diplomacy at +4.
15.
15 is a good roll. He's, yes, extenuating circumstances at least. He lets the matter drop, perhaps for now. You imagine that things might come up later. The deputy marshal just finished wiping something from his face and tucking the handkerchief into his pocket. He clears his throat. Is everything all right here? Yes.
As he steps that way, Son steps back immediately.
Okay. Rufus is kind of playing with Son. The two guards have moved over to see what has transpired here. Let's see if either of them notice the whining coming from the pot. One of them stops. What's in there?
A monster.
He gives you a look like...
A small monster. We just fought an outsider. It had other outsiders with it. Most of them died due to the war. This one survived.
It appears...
Not a holy pot. It's just an iron pot.
Deputy Marshal pushes by, and they're now having a look at the damage.
Again, as he walks by, Son tries to get away from him as much as possible.
Yep, Son, you notice as he walked by that there was a little bit of like dried blood near his cheek.
Right.
What's the duration of this discussion? How long is this discussion going on?
Probably real time.
Okay.
5 minutes, give or take.
Deputy Marshal's now looking at this, and he's sort of nodding, but you notice that he's with the back of his hand. He's got a sweaty brow. He might be mildly feverish. The conductor seems, oh yes, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. It's almost like they're dealing with technology or things that they never really had to fix on their own. Like a generation ago might have dealt with this. or there may be other specialists that do this. The conductor doesn't look like the type that would get his hands too dirty. One guard's like poking at the pot. If you let him, son. Show me the monster.
You can poke, but I'm holding the cover like on it.
Let me have a peek.
It's only about the size of a fist. It's just going to climb out immediately, and it's invisible.
It's probably a rat. Kind of waved you away.
Sure, yes.
Yes, we'll likely have to post guards, wouldn't you agree, Deputy Marshal?
Yep, they're your guards.
The senior engineer, is kind of sitting on a crate. Well, if we can make it all the way back to station, we'll have this repaired and replaced.
What do you mean, if?
If, without further interruptions, he says. Of course we're going to make it back. I just hate to lose 2 cars, especially in the ether.
Right.
We'll post a guard where it is safe, and we'll set regular patrols through here to make sure that nothing else is latched on. Might I invite you, Uguay, to rejoin us in the forward cabins? And I suppose, given that you have a... Was it a first-class ticket or a coach ticket?
It was coach.
You may find some quarters in coach if you want, given that you have a ticket.
I nod. I guess then I focus all of my attention on Rufus, conveniently shielding. Using Rufus to shield me from the deputy marshal.
Senior engineer, please cover up cover up the hole as best as you can, and we shall instruct the steward to set guards. Yes, sir, says one of the guards. Everyone out of the car. They seem to be kind of herding everyone out of the car now.
Which way?
Towards the front.
Okay. Fine. I'll go.
Okay, Uguay goes with you and kind of like gives you a look like, where the fuck are the others?
I nod back. Back this motion.
Okay. There are 4 people, all men. One is in an officer's uniform of the Transether Rail Company. There are 2 guards with their funny bassinet hats, and there's another man whose dress immediately puts you on edge. It is crisp, clean. It is a uniform that is both official as well as perhaps religious. He does have minimal amount of weapons. He does have what looks like a ceremonial dagger at his belt and several wands, and he's leaning down, and he's sort of got one wand out, and he looks like he's kind of poking at the head of the outsider. Ah, yes.
Remind me why there are 2 outsider tokens.
Pardon me?
Why are there 2 Titan spawn tokens?
That's his severed head, and that's his body.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
Ah, yes, you see here. This is indeed a Titan spawn creature. You can tell as this creature, and he kind of pulls his wand up, and you can see some of the tar is stuck on the head, stuck on his wand. He pulls and pulls and pulls, and like a big stringy kind of almost mozzarella, it just keeps on expanding and eventually snaps off, and he takes out a handkerchief and starts wiping the end of his wand. You are both lucky to have lived through this combat. How did you kill it?
By chopping off its head.
He looks at San, and then he looks at Uguay. Uguay is carrying a sword capable of decapitation, so he doesn't say anything. Yep. A very skilled sword saint.
Uguay's sword is even a little bit tarry, unless he's cleaned it.
Yep. Yeah. Or yeah, it's the stuff is really hard to clean off. It's probably going to be a downtime activity to get off.
Yeah.
But yeah, he. Well, let's go survey the rest of the damage, VJ. He just sort of stiffens up, and VJ seems to follow him. There's this air of stuffiness and cleanliness around this man as he wanders into the back cart. I'm going to roll a perception check to see if he senses.
I'm gonna hunker down behind the box.
Yep.
I want to be out of line of sight of this guy.
The conductor and his and the deputy marshal are leaving this area. The deputy marshal almost like came back there, perhaps out of some out of a sense of duty, perhaps. He ends up talking to Uguay a little bit about he asks to see the bounty, and Uguay shares that with him. These two guards continue their patrol to the end of the train. They go with Jopas into the back of the train, and for a brief moment, it is just the TERC steward and this this man from the Temple of Thane.
As they came through the door and they passed me,
Yep.
They passed Zephyrus. Zephyrus is going to try and pick up Makronov and just fly out the door and just get out of here before he turns visible.
Okay.
Can we just point out that when Zephyrus flies, he like gracefully does this with his back leg, like a floating.
just toes pointed down.
Yeah.
He's invisible, so no one can see it. But yes.
But the mental image.
So I do need a stealth check as you're trying to. Makronam will make a stealth check as well. Makronam's stealth is plus 14.
I'm just checking mine. My stealth is 0.
Makronam gets a 34. So no one notices the small barrel grow feet and kind of like move around the edge and then get picked up by the invisible guy.
Nat 20.
Is that a total of 20?
Yeah.
That's a 30, 20, nat 20, Marty.
That's a nat 20.
No bonus.
Okay, there is the moving train, there is some distractions, and you waited at the right time. I am going to roll for 7, 10, 14. There is a good chance. -4 for distractions, -2 for the noise of the train. Ooh, the Inquisitor got a 3. An 11. Okay, he did not see Zephyrus flying outside. They are examining this thing, and
how long can you remain invisible, Luke?
When I use Vanish, I know it's only going to last for like a minute or less, and people are coming to investigate the train cart. So when I scurried behind these boxes, I took the opportunity to take out the wand that lets me cast silently, silent image some boxes in this corner, and then now I put the wand away and I've wedged myself sort of back here behind these boxes. Ostensibly, like they'll just see boxes and they won't come and investigate and test the DC to see if it's an illusion.
Okay, I still need a stealth check from you though. If your invisibility is gone.
My stealth check before the invisibility drop was at 36. Do I re-roll now that it's gone?
Yep. Your boxes are in play. I'll give you +8 for your boxes.
Cool. +8 plus I think what I like 5. 23.
23 is decent. Let's see if 21 from the TERC steward. Okay, so you guys are hiding, and then Pharisee and Pixel are just gods at hiding. So the two of them are back there. Yeah,
there's also a door at the back. They can go out any time.
The TERC steward is actually explaining to the temple major about the ward, and he's like, Yes, I believe priests from my temple craft some of these. They nod. Unfortunately, it's gone missing. I'll have to make it in I'll have to add it to my report that we should be carrying spares. Curious that we do not carry a spare. You think that would be a standard thing? To lose a train, we haven't lost a train in decades. To lose a train would be a very bad thing for station, especially in these times. Well, we do have that extra one. Ah, yes, the one that appeared out of nowhere. The one that has been missing for several decades. It is an older model.
Doesn't look like much, but it'll do 9-volt.
We couldn't have...
It's like if they lose a train, yeah? Then they could pull out the old... Yeah.
Oh, is it a fake... I thought they were talking about a battery replacement for the floor thing.
No, they
lost a whole train.
Oh.
Decades ago. And now he's saying it's reappeared?
Yes.
And they actually have it. That's interesting.
That's spooky. Haunted train, dude. Ghost train.
It is an older model. It's been a long time since anything that runs on coal has been through the ether. Yes, perhaps they'll scrap it for metal, or perhaps put it to work on one of the side rail systems. Who knows? Maybe the slough needs a transport train.
That also suggests there's a train we could hijack ourselves.
Oh my god, it's Back to the Future 3!
If only we had an infinite amount of fire to let it run.
Oh shit, we do! We have that fire djinn or whatever trapped in the house. You could run our stolen train, dude.
That's hilarious.
They kind of poke around at this thing for a while, and then eventually Senior Jopus is yelling at the guards to get out.
Get out! Stop touching everything! Get out of here!
He whistles for the dog, and the dog goes running. And eventually the two of them leave this particular area. The steward takes out some keys and locks this door. And they go over to this other side. At this point in time, Deputy Marshal has made a cursory glance at the bounty that Oogway had, and then excused himself and got about 3/4 down the train before you could hear him, like, with a hoarse, rattling cough.
I turned to the Templar Major.
Yep.
And I'm like, do you know that he has blood veil?
The horrible disease that inflict the village.
Yeah. He has red tears, he's coughing, he clearly has fever.
Ah.
I spoke to one of the priests for about an hour. They gave me all the symptoms. It all matches.
You notice that his hand goes down to a handkerchief that he's now holding over his mouth. Wonderful. Perhaps we should designate a cot as the plague cot. I was hoping that no one aboard had the plague.
Well, more than one person probably does now. He's just more advanced, but he's spreading it.
I lost audio for a bit. Did they lock the back door here as well?
They locked this door.
Okay, this door is not locked.
Jopus is telling these guards to get out, and these guards probably went around the outside. Jopus lingers at this door for a while. He's looking around. He knows that there's a whole party of you back here. And you weren't in the caboose. He's like...
Oh. And the caboose doesn't really have anyone else in it right now.
No,
yeah?
no.
But you don't know that.
You can see it at least into this first area.
I'll pop out
and
come over here. I will drop invisibility and say, Jopus, is your caboose protected?
Yeah, it's got one of the stones.
Can I go and check?
I can show you where it is.
Let's just take a quick look and make sure it's still okay. I want to check the fields, and I don't know that we actually checked the caboose.
You promise not to make any funny business, huh?
I promise.
All right, don't mind the mess.
I kind of want to see the caboose, too.
Yeah.
How's Jopus live?
I also want to see the end cap at the end of the caboose. Right? There's no car after the caboose. Is it flowing out of the caboose?
Yep.
Is that flowing out normal? Or is it the field being sapped on the whole train?
So you get the sense, Pharisee, that the caboose has a lot more machinery than you thought it would. And the machinery seems to be more at the front. Give me a knowledge, architecture, engineering. There are barracks in here that are very dirty and like piled up dishes. Like he cooks back here and no one cleans for him. It's kind of like dwarf bachelor pad and dog fur everywhere.
Not unlike Marty's place.
Hey, my place is much better than that. And I have no dog fur, so I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a 26 on knowledge, architecture, engineering.
The caboose is also an engine.
Ah, interesting.
The thing could go backwards with the caboose.
That's why it was able to, because it is going backwards now. The caboose is the front of the train, right?
The caboose would normally be the back.
The caboose is the back of the train.
It reversed before it went
Normally
into the
it
portal.
Yeah, you guys found it. You guys found a turn-away.
They did a
That's right.
turnaround.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're guessing that the engine isn't as big that you wouldn't want to drive in reverse. It might take you much longer to get places, much less power, but it is possible.
That's also good to know. That means we could steal a caboose if we need to.
He does go over to a place and clears some like pots and pans and some garbage and some laundry that's hung up and just sort of like, excuse me, it's in here somewhere. He's kind of fishing around for it over all the dirt, and yeah, you do find a panel, and he's got a proper hex kind of like hex key winch sort of thing, and he puts it in. He has to find that, but he finds it and he opens it up, and you can see the blazing blue ward stone is affixed inside there.
I want to detect magic at 3 places. I want to detect it at the ward stone and make sure the ward stone is in fact, working.
Yep.
I want to check here and see that there's energy pouring out.
Yep.
And then I want to check over here and see what's going on at this end.
Yep. Okay, so first things first, you're going to detect magic at the ward stone.
Yep.
Give me a spellcraft check.
Uh, 25.
Okay, you know that they're abjurative effects. You already know that they blanket protection from evil. And that the ward stone is also a 17th level caster.
Nice. That's a powerful item.
That creature was having a hard time dispelling it.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Then you check over at the other area, and yeah, it just seems to be bleeding into the area that is nullified. And then you check at the front of the caboose, which is sort of like outside. Like there's this big railinged balcony that is open to the ethereal, and you're just sort of like at the end of it, and you can see the train tracks that sort of get summoned as you go, sort of fading in the distance behind you, and then you pass through this big ring, and you can see the ring going off, and then you can see like a little while later another ring, and sort of this trail of rings going off like a snake into the ether. Patches of the ether are dark, and some of them are light, and there's this weird haze as you do get ethereal rain, almost like it's like little bright areas with all these droplets of light that kind of hit things and then kind of pass. It's beautiful out here, but now that you know that these Titan spawn things live in the depths of this place, which doesn't quite make sense. The ethereal plane is supposed to be... might be something to research later.
Yeah.
The nature of this place. Maybe these Titan spawned things invaded?
Something. Yeah.
Something. Anyways, you kind of get lost in thought, and then you detect magic, and you do see that it just more cleanly ends as some of the lines actually divert the energy to the edge of the train and create a very, very nice protective spot, especially on a place where something could fly out of the ether and land or attack.
Yeah.
Like this space is well warded. It just seems to be going across the railings and kind of flowing in a hedge around the edge of the space.
What's the plug-in look like here?
Can
I see, or would I have to bend out over?
Yeah, you kind of bend down over it. It's sort of like capped.
Okay.
And then it looks like tracery has specifically been etched even in smaller veins along the outside. Like you can actually see the tracery exposed
Nice.
along this landing area.
All right. I'm going to head back towards...
everything look all right?
It does. This car looks safe.
All right, well, I'll close things up.
He goes and he shoos a Pixel away, who was kind of dancing on top of the ward because it felt funny, and get out of here.
Is it possible to stop the train and chuck a car off into the ether and then back this guy back up and connect?
That's some fancy maneuvering.
I don't know that we want to, but just curious.
Yeah, I guess we could slow down and then unconnect that one. We could start putting some distance and wait for the rails to kind of, well, yeah, you dump the cart. It takes some time in doing.
Yes.
He looks a little nervous.
I'm not suggesting. I'm not going to cause any trouble.
He looks relieved.
Stay safe, my friend.
Yeah. Where's that bottle?
He kind of goes...
It smelled in there, but that wardstone felt funny.
It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Warding against outsiders. Did you feel like it was difficult for you to touch it?
No.
Or get close to it?
It was magic. I like dancing on magic.
Excellent.
I'm not an outsider. I'm an insider.
Indeed. Let's go inside this car.
Okay, so that was about five minutes of searching around, maybe 10. Meanwhile, if we go back in time, this TERC guard is approaching Zephyros. What are you doing?
There's no way for Zephyros to go. He's just going to stand there and wait, see what happens.
Okay, the TERC guard is just... Two of them are walking along the outside. He does check at the doors, like that they're closed, and they keep on moving. How are you getting out of this guy's way? You're still invisible, right?
No, invisibility dropped. I think we only had it for like 7 minutes or 8 minutes or something. Actually, I have a rod that causes extend spell. Now that I think about it, so it would have been 14 minutes. It would have dropped in any case by now.
Okay, so when he turned around the corner, instead of checking the door, he's like, "Hey, you!"
Zephyros looks up and says, "Yeah, you're talking to me."
The fuck are you? What are you doing?
Protecting the train. What are you doing? Who are you?
Are you a passenger?
Yes, we just killed an outsider inside the train.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's what you are here to investigate, is it not?
No, that was the Rakasta and that big guy with the wrappings on his face. No one said anything about a Fant.
Did you ask them about a Fant?
Alright, don't get wise with me. He kind of looks nervous at this point in time as like he's got no backup. Go into the next cart. Let's go.
Could you ask nicely, considering that I've just killed an outsider by chopping off its head?
Sure. Could you please go to the next cart?
Sure. Zephyrus walks and crosses over.
Okay, the other guard had kind of beat him there. He's like, "Whoa, it's all right. He's on our side, I think." And they open up the door, and everyone backs away. Oogway immediately stands in. This is Zephyrus. He is a Tusker. He was instrumental in decapitating the foe. And everyone's just like gawking for a moment and very thankful that the Fant are typically a peaceful race. They are,
except this Fant's carrying this big scythe.
Yeah, they are
sticky.
They're looking at the scythe and
scar on the side.
You said you're Tusker, says the Templar Major from behind a handkerchief.
I am, yes.
Tuskers are known for their bravery, also known to travel alone. Are you the last of your band of demon slayers?
My master recently passed away, and I returned from his funeral at this point. But it seems the further I travel, the more I run into outsiders or people with disease.
Are you sick?
I am not sick. Are you sick?
No. Thank the gods.
I am the illest.
Are you sure?
Well, I hope this is the last of the undocumented passengers that we have here. You wouldn't happen to have a ticket, would you? Says the conductor, who is exasperated at this point.
Yes, I have a ticket. It's right here. And Zephyrus rotates his side, and the tar is still stuck on it. Do you see the ticket that I'm referring to? It seemed to just land between the body and the head of the Titan spawn.
The guards were really fidgety, especially when you kind of swung the blade towards the conductor. You know what? This is almost an intimidation. Brandishing your weapon and...
Well, it's out there. I have it with me. I'm not being aggressive.
I'll give you a diplomacy check. Go ahead. Oogway is vouching for you. You did a great deed.
Yeah. My massive diplomacy. What is my... Oh, I've got +5 in diplomacy. Can you believe it?
It's another +4.
So +9. 28.
Oh, here, he didn't even learn Son's name. This fine fellow here in coach.
That would be mighty kind of you, but I dare ask. Are you going to ask all of us for tickets, or shall we accept that we are here and that you need us at this point?
Oogway has already purchased his way aboard. You notice he didn't use the word ticket. And Son here has a ticket.
It's Christopher.
Right.
Yeah, Christopher here has a ticket, he says. He pulls out the ticket and shows it to you and puts it away. But surely we can trust a Fant to... your deed has covered your fee.
But
wouldn't you agree,
realize
Field
I
Marshal?
do this alone. We travel as a party, and we all worked very hard to keep this train safe.
Wait, are there more? Says the steward.
My good man, Stuart, have you ever tried killing a tar-blooded titan spawn with only 2 or 3 people?
This is when it's revealed that the steward is a badass. He did it single-handed.
He assumes it's a rhetorical question, but he does a sideways glance at the others. You notice the Templar Major just smiling this pursed smile, like he knew it. He knew it wasn't just the 2 of you, and it was now not just 3. Where are your friends? If there are more, they should step out now. Otherwise, we don't want to mistake them for Titan things or
Well, I think a few things are worthy of mentioning at this point. My friends are around here somewhere, and they're inspecting the rest of the train to make sure that it is safe, seeing how you all were in the front of the train, far away from the danger. But they should join us soon, I should think.
If Pharisee has made her way up to the door at this point,
Yep.
and maybe heard some of this?
Yep.
Yeah, because Zephyros is still not in the room. He's still halfway in the door.
Professor, are you remaining in your hiding spot, or are you coming out?
I'm old. I can't hear very well. My perception's not good. I'm jammed behind boxes. I don't know what's going on. I'm hiding behind these boxes for my dear life.
Tickets that that Pixel got out, which wasn't enough for all of us.
Where?
I'll take the second ticket, set it on top of a barrel, and smack it on top of the barrel. And with
Lean
the
out of
third
the
ticket, I'll go ahead and open the door and come on through.
Zephyros didn't know that you guys were coming, so while this is happening, he says to Makronom, Makronom, do you want to go back and see if you can find the rest of them?
Okay. Everyone goes, ah! What is that?
That's the leader of our party.
The Templar Major, like he's studying Makronom as Makronom goes. Makronom looks like a backpack that has got little tentacles and little eyeballs looking around.
Where are you guys? Hey guys!
I'll lean my head out of the box illusion and
Yep.
look at him.
Pharisee comes fluttering across. Ah!
I was in the back with Senior Engineer Jopus, inspecting the caboose. My ticket.
This is very nice. Can I just get out of the door? It is mighty uncomfortable to be half in, half out at my size.
It gives you some room. Yes, he takes your ticket.
Pharisee.
He just nods and flips the ticket between his knuckles and puts it away.
Makronom comes back and climbs onto my shoulder.
Yep.
I'll take the belt of Kako demons and stash it somewhere on my person out of sight. I think they're alive in the present state, or are they sort of like inert?
There are 3 of them that are dead and 2 of them that are alive.
And they're like alive, wriggling around.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stash them deep into a pocket.
Okay.
And it'll probably like move and stuff, but it'll just be in there.
All right. The professor comes across.
I'll pick up the ticket as well on the way.
You see the 2 guards on the other side? They're like, "Where the fuck did the old man come from?" I don't know.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'll say, which guy is the sick guy? It's.
Nope. Sick guy has left.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello there. Excuse me. I'll say as I sidle my way through here. Ooh,
Yep.
Quite crowded in here. I'll say, and as I go, I'll say, yes, I believe we'll be needing that for further study. I'll have the unseen servant pick up the skull and say, shall we be going? It's a bit crowded back here. You lad, you're the conductor here. What sort of shoddy work are you going about with this demons invading from the ethers?
Hold on. These creatures are the enemies of the gods.
Yes, yes. Don't talk to me about the planar gateways and about the religions. I have been without
He really wasn't. He was talking about these creatures. These are not. That's a completely different topic.
This is Professor Chalmers.
In the name of the Templars, these remains will be seized.
What is that, lad? You'll have to speak up. It's been a long day. Yes, the remains, I've got them. Shall we adjourn to the front of the car where there's libations and a bit more room? I'll say, not waiting for a response and walking.
All right, the Turk conductor is walking with the old man. Do I sense a learned man?
I never thought you'd ask. Professor Henry Sinclair Chalmers III at your service, Emeritus of Matabuster University. Perhaps you've read my treatise on the outer worlds, about the ancient ones who sleep within their realm?
I have not, but I am sure that everyone would be illuminated if you would tell us more over dinner as to what it is that attacked our good train.
Oh, I fear we have more to discuss than just that, kind sir. Can an old man impose upon you with a bit of a bath before dinner is served? I'm a bit of a mess today.
Surely. He turns around. All of you are invited to dinner in the forward cabins. Feel free to fetch a place to sleep in the coach area. We shall dine. We shall dine in first class tonight.
Sounds good to me.
Splendid, splendid. A true gentleman even out here amongst the roughs.
What the professor doesn't notice is that there's this angry glare coming from the Templar Major as he's wandering off with the head.
Oh, really? Wow, that guy's mad and the professor didn't notice how much of a dick he was? Oh, man. That's
All right, everyone go find a place in the forward cabins, and they effectively shoo you to this particular cabin where you guys can claim a room.
Wait. I don't follow. I approach the Templar Major, and I say, there's a significantly diseased man on the train, and this is a limited airspace. Like, this is a time bomb. We have to contain it somehow.
Yes. I think we'll have to make a quarantine area back here, wouldn't you say, as steward? Yes, I'll fetch a couple of guards. The field marshal is the marshal is a proud man.
The marshal is a dead man. Or soon to be.
Templar Mage raises an eyebrow at that. He doesn't seem to be as concerned about that. The Turk steward VJ looks scared now. Uguay says, "We shall convince him that it is best that he isolates himself."
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... I'll ask him, is there a medic on train? Is part of the guard, the staff maybe? Or...
Yes, there is a doctor that should have a look at our fair field marshal. I shall arrange it once we have convinced the field marshal to isolate himself. Come along then.
Yeah, okay, I do then.
The two of you can help just in case things get out of hand. He points to San and to Uguay.
That's a little weird.
Alright, boys, we're in on this train. We're in first class, boys. Got a car to first, just like I like it.
Well, these sleeping areas are not first class, but you guys, there's enough room for you guys to spread out this time. And, Zephyrus has one all to himself aside from Makarnam. Looks like the professor has a sleeping area all to himself. First, the Turk conductor So the field marshal had returned all the way to here on his own. Then you see a group of people coming by. The conductor. I will have Serathis stop by here to see if you need any confectionaries, anything to freshen up before dinner this evening.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, there are extra blankets and